Okay, I want to welcome everybody back, although I can hardly see any of you, to another evening in the castle. We are actually talking roofing techniques. So I have prepared for us a little starter meal. I'm going to do this. So give me a second here. I'm going to share my screen and be forgiving for a little, for a minute second here while I get onto Pinterest. All right, so many ways to do roofs. Of course, you have your very straightforward sloped bricks. As you guys can see here, I've just grabbed a couple of images. Don't mind the comments and the names. Here's a good idea. I saw this the other day. I never tried it. Thought it was a cute way. Paul, does this work? Hilton, has anybody tried this before?
I haven't. It's the
Using
second time I've
stairs?
seen it. I've seen somebody else do the stairs as well, but stairs with other slopes, small, so 1x2 slopes.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay. I've never done that, but
It does help for support, because often when you're trying to place those middle bricks, your roofs tend to collapse. I remember when I was building city type buildings and using those.
yeah.
You know, if you have a wide span, your structure does tend to be a little unstable because it doesn't have enough support. So those definitely help.
Okay, so this is a nice solution to your support problem if you have enough of these stairs or staircases lying around.
It also it looks very nice as in a medieval theme as your roof supports. If you're going to look at, if you're going to see the interior.
Okay, that's a nice tip. Cool. Thanks. All right, guys, feel free to jump in at any time if you have any comments or you want to add anything. So I wanted to show this one in particular because I thought it was a nice way to show off the way you can actually have the same roofing technique on the front buildings, but have the buildings differ, and in that way actually not have to spend so much time on building roofs. I know building roofs has been one of the things that I've spent so much time on after building a building and then figuring out how to put the roof on top. So yeah, Pinterest. Okay, there's one last one. So okay, I'm gonna move on. That's always been I guess one of the stock standard favorites. In the last while, this has become quite a go-to technique. I know it's like popular in the pirate buildings, etc. And I know we had a member ordering thousands of these the other day. So the 1x1 round brick can be used in many different ways, in different angles. If you're looking at something really simplistic and a different look, I do prefer the way they sometimes use the 2x2 2x1 plates in between, and even the 1x1 round plates in between. Here is a wonderful example of how to use those two techniques together, you know, using the slopes and the 1x1 round bricks. There is a nice tutorial as to how this was done on Tips and Bricks for the guys who don't know it. It's a nice place. Tony used to post a bunch of these, I think it was almost weekly, on the chat group. I don't think he does it anymore, but this is a lovely place to go and have a page through many cool articles, not only on roofing, of course, but on many other things. Yeah, I will leave you to go do that. I think it's probably the easiest way to find it is just to
just Google it.
Google tips and bricks, or find Blocks magazine. I think Blocks magazine is something you can subscribe to, and this is part of that, if I'm not mistaken. Anybody confirm that?
I'm not sure. I know they feature some of the articles in there.
Okay. All right. So of course, if you're not using the 1x1 round bricks, you can be using the cones. This is a technique that that we saw featuring a little while ago. I thought this is quite genius, if you have the patience to build all those and clip them in. But it's yeah, I'd love to see some different techniques. Okay, where are we now? So I brought this one up because it had the 1x1 round brick used in between the tiles. We often have these gaps, and I want to refer to the building on the right, the top. You'll see a nice array of 1x1 round bricks lying on top of the roof. We very often have that gap in certain techniques, and it's easy to fill if you're willing to just actually place something on top. Also easy to use the round bricks for just framing whatever you want to do with plates or tiles inside. So again, feel free to explore, and yeah, don't be scared to try something new. Here is another wonderful example of how they use these and stabilize them with the plates, and some if you look carefully in the center there, that seems to be a 1x2 what do you call those again, man? The brick with the
log
little
brick.
The log brick. There you go. Thank you, Paul. So it's just better than having the square 1x2 normal brick in there. So you'll see them all over here in the different colors. Okay, me using Pinterest. Okay, that was unnecessary. This is just a close-up of the previous one. I want to quickly go back all the way to the front here, because this was not one that I wanted to show first. Okay, so here, this is quite spectacular, I thought. There are many of these Eastern type buildings that are designed with very intricate and cool roofing. We're going to be seeing a couple of them, but yeah, those angles, if you can create those angles, yeah, please do, and put them in your build, in our mills. That would be awesome. Okay, where are we on to now? I want to go to some cheese slopes quickly. This is easy peasy stuff. So the technique of using the cheese slope on a normal plate can leave you with something like that, which is, in my opinion, this is quite incredible, the way that he used the slopes there. Yeah, so when we are ordering parts soon, do think cheese slopes. They are nice to have and very, very, very usable in many ways, except just for little rocks standing out somewhere. Okay, you guys can of course find all of this on Pinterest. I did put them all together as well in a roofing technique folder. So let's go to some unique ones before we go on to tiles and plates. This is the one I really want to get to. Okay, so there are many people who have the ability to sit for hours and actually use bars held up by clips to create straw roofs, etc. Use minifigure hands. It is just incredible, the patience that people have sometimes. Sorry for that. And then of course the droid arms that have seen so many uses. We had these around a couple of years ago. Really hope we have a chance again at some stage to get a hold of them. I found this quite disturbing. Minifigures holding their own hands to make roofs. But that's just me, I guess. Anyway, so yes, a lot of stuff you can do. You guys are welcome to reach out to me if you want any of the pictures that I'm sharing. I thought this was quite unique as well, using the telescopes. And then you will also notice on the front of the porch there, there's actually a couple of tracks being used for the porch roof.
And also for the fence in the back. Sorry, Willie.
Yes, no, it's a good spot. Yeah, I've been focusing only on the roofs. I did not even see the monkey in the bottom corner. That I will zoom out from. Okay, so this is a technique I have used in the past as well in little roof or porch roofs. It is actually quite cool because they are so flexible. So again, in different colors as well now. And then of course, if you want to be so bold, you can even have a carrot roof. All right, so basically, this is all about figuring out how you're going to use the element and how you're going to actually get it to sit on the roof. So I have not seen how they make the carrots sit, but I don't know if there's anybody here who actually knows, or if they've just been stacked. Nobody a carrot roof expert?
Sure.
Okay.
Is it a bar that fits in on the top, at the top of the carrot, the thicker area?
They
should interlock.
They can, I guess, interlock into each other, yes, because the front of the carrot is like a bar, and the back does take a bar. So that's probably how they did it. Thanks, V. Okay. So let's move on. I thought this was very unique. I don't know why I can't zoom in on it, but anyway, there we go. Okay, so everybody knows the little feather. This is quite a unique color. And then the little clip plate to put them in. Again, just stacked together, makes for a nice effect in the end. I know a lot of these you'll probably look at and go, I can't make a roof out of this, or I can't. I remember seeing a droid arm tree for the first time and thinking, how on earth did that person do that? So yeah, anything is possible, I guess. All right. Okay, so this is a little bit more straightforward with the slopes, the 1x2 slopes, and then the top there. You guys will see that it's I don't know what to actually call that. It says 1x2 modified plates with flexible tips positioned with hinges, but yes, We'll figure that one out. Okay. This one I really enjoyed. I'm going to skip one here to show you how it was done. So what you see here was done with chairs. The chairs were interlinked with the grill piece, what they call a ladder. Well, I call it a grill piece most of the time because I remember seeing them on the front of my old fire trucks. So again, just figuring out how to start and how to finish it leaves you with a very nice looking little medieval cottage.
How do you come up with those thoughts? Ah, let's use a chair to build a roof.
Is that you, Luigi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome.
Hi, sorry guys.
Yes. No, you know what? I guess it's just playing with some different options and parts. And like we saw now with Iron Boulder, I mean, we got the pots for Iron Boulder, and I never in my life thought of doing some of the things that some of the guys, you know, have done with pots, and I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody's final builds. But yes, I don't know if there's anybody else that wants to share their opinion on parts usage. I guess Paul, you've done some of the most intricate part usage of anybody that I know. How do you come up with it, Paul?
Well, often it's dependent on how many you have. If you have bulk of a part, you know, you can often play and see what kind of textures you can produce with that part. If you only have 3 or 4, then it's really not going to produce. I mean, like this chap obviously had a ton of chairs and said, okay, what can I do with that? Or the guy with the carrots.
Yes.
You know, all these techniques we're seeing, everybody had bulk of that piece. And they just played with it and said, well, okay, so there's an interesting texture. What can I use it for? About the only thing is a roof. So, yeah, most of this is just see what parts you have in bulk and play with them.
I guess this speaks volumes for the Pick a Brick wall, and you know, bulk orders. I know, I remember these brown chairs being on the wall at some stage. I don't know if they're still there. And remembering that, you know, years ago, I really wanted to build a stadium and fill it with chairs, and I just had like 7 chairs. So, you know, I could never build a stadium with 7 chairs. So yes, so what Paul says, there's a lot of validity to it. So I guess we can all view the word bulk in the future for many different reasons than just to have many, you know, to use. Okay, cool. All right, let's move on. Enjoyed this little build as well, using the 2x2 round tiles. Again, you know, just proves there's pretty much anything you can do. This I thought was actually quite, well, again, unique. And I also enjoyed the way that he used them at 2 different angles instead of just trying to run them down from the top to the bottom. Guys, I thought tonight's little show and tell will be more to open everybody's mind to, you know, the different ways to use parts. I mean, you can get a bunch of these little, you know, graphic tutorials all over Pinterest and all over the internet. It's really not that hard to go and find what, you know, guys are doing and try not to copy it, but actually do it and then learn from it and then improve on it or modify it. This is a very simple medieval slope technique, to do little stalls. Again, do your own little thing and make them look unique. And look, hey, they used carrots as carrots. That's something we don't do enough these days, I guess. Again, with the tips and bricks, they'll show you how to do some of this. I thought this was an incredible way to build a tower roof with the little flags. It's just, the flexi tubes or the flexible tubes, something that most of us have now, that did acquire them a while ago. But yeah, okay. So here we go. Another, well, this one shows the other technique we saw already. Again, I think that is just beautiful texture and showing a wonderful different way of creating what you want to do. Okay, we saw this in the new blacksmith set. This is actually a picture that surfaced not long after these tiles were brought out. I remember thinking this would be lovely to do. Even the floor, the ground there, I liked a lot. And then we saw them doing this with the blacksmith set, using these shield tiles or whatever you want to call them. Excuse my part naming; it's not always on par. Yeah, to do the blacksmith roof, and then of course you can go as simple as using a dome. Nothing wrong with that. All right, Death Star. Use some planets up there, some Star Wars planets. Okay, I so enjoyed this. This is one of my favorite little folders. Okay, we saw this, and then if you go into tips and bricks, if you really wanted to do this straw roof, this thatched roof technique, there's a full walkthrough when you go onto tips and bricks to show you exactly how it's done. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It's probably not something I will quickly do in the near future, but if you have enough bars, there we go. Bulk is on its way, and we all have a choice what we choose. I think the technique guys will be quite pleased to see that even Castle Group can use their pins. When we use them when we do the mills, but even for roofs, it's an option. Okay, and then of course, if you have enough bananas, use them. So who's going to do this? Who's going to use the banana roof technique? No takers?
I need bananas.
That's a no. Nice try.
I thought this was a very unique build. And of course it resurfaced.
That banana build
way.
with the silver banana is going to be very nice.
The silver banana? Yes. Oh, the roof now with the new silver banana. Yeah. Okay.
Or if you really want to go big, go with the gold banana.
Okay, we're gonna have a banana world, a banana town. We can do that. Okay. All right. This is beautiful. Okay, this is not the best quality photo, but correct me if I'm wrong, but that is a small, what do you call it again? Damn it,
Like a
not
claw.
tooth. Claw. Yeah, like a claw piece. Yeah. So these are available in many colors. If you have them in bulk, you can use some. You can use it for something like this. So, all right. Okay. So let's get into. I think I've done it all right. Oh yes, just a quick little snowy throwback here. Of course, we'll go into minifigure. We can. Ferdi, there are your minifigure plates.
Very cool.
Yeah, I used these a couple of years ago in my first castle build, and I actually started using them because I did not have enough tiles and plates to cover my roof. And when I started, so I literally went into my minifigure collection and started taking the base plates off, the plates off my minifigure collection, and ended up really enjoying it. I still haven't put them back. They're still somewhere in a box. But yeah, just I wanted to put this in because I just randomly came across the one where we had some snow on the roof. I don't necessarily think this was the best snow on the roof build that there is, but it is very nice. So although I don't think we are currently in winter in our moles build, I guess if you are far enough to the left or the right, you can say that it's winter in your in your part of the world. Okay.
No. Remember, we actually made a rule. We said that a druid can do anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, so there might be a spell on it, or who knows what. It's all possible.
I can't remember that rule, but I'm happy to go along with it.
That was
Okay,
with one of the cards that we did it.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna skip through these quite fast. Straightforward plates and tiles in most of what you see here. It's just getting the angles right. For a lot of these builds, that is, I've always loved this. I know I tend to go a little out of out of control when it comes to these types of roofs. I don't know if anybody remember my totally what was it? You said out of scale, Paul. A giant lives there on the second story. Of course, the medieval blacksmith before Lego, the Lego group got their shield tiles onto its roof. I think this was a very nice build. And then something I'm quite a fan of, using the little grill plates and normal plates and jumpers and tiles all together to create wonderful texture with a little, change in color or discoloration in the roof. Oops, that's not what I intended. Sorry. We have a couple of these here. And then you have your more shaggy looking tiled roofs. Again, I want to encourage you guys to try doing these roofs and not think that you're failing the moment you start because you can't get it right. Get it, do it and do it again and try again, and when you're done, put it on top of your building and see if it works. This is probably one of my favorite builds of all times. One of our old favorites, Durfel Kadarn. Just, I think this was one of the last, if not the last build he did before he kind of went off into the shadows. But yes, again, it's here again. It's about the angles and what he could achieve. Sure. Yeah. It was, just correct me if I'm wrong, this was the build that he was going to have featured in Bricks magazine, right? Where he was going to give a whole tutorial on how he did this, and then start writing like a book or something like that, or do an online thing.
What
Paul?
does he use for those vines above the door? I don't recognize those pots.
Yeah, Durfel was one of those different builders. He for those vines, he used to use, you get in America, you get a little sleeve that you can put on your fishing line. And he used to add those into his build. He quite often used spray paint on his Lego pieces. He wasn't a purist. He definitely wasn't. And I think that's how he achieved a lot of his amazing looks, was by not being restricted by some people's ideas that you can only use Lego. So yeah,
Okay, a heretic. Okay.
Yeah, I actually, I think for a long time, lots of us were purists when it came to what we're doing, until you see somebody like him build like this, and you think, you know what, I'm building for me, and I'm kind of enjoying what I'm doing, and if I want to get more creative, and that takes me using a different type of rope than a Lego rope, then, you know, as long as I'm not entering into a Lego competition, this is for me, you know. You know, if the rules state no Lego or no non-Lego elements, then that is how I will build. But if I'm just building for myself, and you know, and we're building to achieve what we like to see, then why not take a little piece of cloth and make your own little minifigure, you know, cape or sack. He often used, and I want to just come in there. You see that little sack there, right in the middle of the screen next to the witch. That's a piece of cloth sack that he made, and he's got it standing next to a Lego sack. It's, you know, he just made it work. But I think we've spoken about this in the past, where you can try using another element and it can go horribly wrong. So it's not necessarily always going to work for you. Anyway, so any other questions about this roof or Durfel Kadarn? Nobody. Okay, here we go. All right. So again, just tiles and plates, and again, draw your attention to the top of the build. Another way to actually cover that usually gaping hole at the top. Okay. Here you can see two different techniques being used next to each other. Some crazy stuff going on here. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and explain all of this. And then your straightforward 45-degree angled roof with tiles. And nothing wrong with using that or doing it like that. Paul, you had a very similar roof on your tower, didn't you?
Yeah,
like we have here.
Yeah, quite similar. Mine had a few more sides than that one, but it's very similar technique.
Yeah, this is one of the more advanced ways. I sometimes refer to it as the wizard's hat roof. because it always reminds me of a wizard's hat when it's on top of the wizard's tower, which is, well, which is awesome to me. Maybe one day you can teach us all how to do that. Okay. I got this one in specifically because it had some of the fishing store planks in here. Kind of also reminding everybody, you know, don't be scared to use those elements. You know, you don't have to overuse them, just use them. They're not limited to only the fishing store. So yeah. Okay. Again, just a nice use of jumpers and grill plates. Beautiful. There's some next level rock work going on here as well. So and then of course you can just go straight forward and use your reddish brown tiles. A lot of this is just, again, achieved by getting your angle right on the roof and connecting one half to the other. Now I got this picture, and I was a little unsure as to how he did it, but I think this is the netting technique. I don't know if anybody.
We
It
saw
is,
it in one
right?
of your earlier picks as well.
I love the way
Okay.
he's used those arms as vines.
Oh yes,
That is
Oh.
really cool.
I love that. I'll show you my old houses one day. I went overboard on that. Listen to them laughing. Okay, so this is also a technique that you can find on you know, on the net. They show you nicely how to use the netting technique. I've never really been a huge fan of it, maybe because I can't totally get it right. but it was very popular at one stage. Am I right, Paul?
Yeah, Cesbricks used it on his roofs before he went pro. Yeah, it was used quite often, and I've seen it used as water as well. It
Yeah, I've
gives
seen it.
very nice angles.
I've also seen it being used as a like ground cover that gives a lot of slope for landscape.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so again, just a way to very easily create your roofs with tiles and plates. You can change the angle up again and get a totally different look. Chicken-legged hut. A weathered shingled roof. I remember a time back in the day when somebody I knew would walk past and just press down all the tiles. But let's not go there. Yes, we've seen this used with water as well, where the tiles are not totally pressed down, and it just gives an effect, overall effect. Okay, is somebody malfunctioning?
Yeah, it's me. Don't worry. Sorting it out.
Okay, so just quickly, flexible roof technique, if you want to go check it out on Pinterest. Okay, there you go. Different ways to do this. Okay, and then I think this was a build that Paul shared with us a little while ago. And when I went to check it out, I actually, I don't know if you saw, Paul, in the comments, Durfal Kadaran actually commented on this, calling it the best castle build that he has seen in many years. So again, what I wanted to point out here was how he used different roofing techniques and different building techniques almost on, this is just one picture, there are many to see, but yes, again, don't get just bogged down to one way of doing something. Buildings never looked exactly the same. This was medieval times, you know, people just kind of like, I guess in some instances just built stuff. Don't quote me on that, please. Okay. All right. I am going to go back to Zoom. There we go. Stop sharing. All righty. Let me just change this. Okay. So what I wanted to do tonight was to actually do a quick little tutorial on how to do one of my favorite roofing techniques, if not my favorite roofing technique, is called a shingle roof technique. So this is a tutorial that you guys can find on YouTube. I just thought it would be more fun if I actually did it and showed you how. So so let me turn my camera around. If come on, camera, where are you now? Okay, so we've moved a bit. Let me just try and move back. Okay, it seems like there's a difference in the way Zoom sees it and the way, give me a second here. Zoom sees it and the way your camera sees it. Okay, so what you have here is a 4 by whatever plate, however long you want to make your roof. So this is what we're going to be using. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to get some, I'm using a 4 by 10 plate here. And what you want to do is you want to get some 1 by 10s. I'm going to talk through this like I would, as if I was using this to make a roof that is 10 studs wide. And you want to join all this up. So in the end, you have what looked like a bit of a trough. If you can see that. These colors are of course not specific. These are just parts I quickly grabbed. And what we want to do here is we want to take some of these jumper plates, make sure we pop them in a way where we can have a plate in the center in an offset way, basically having a half a stud difference. So if you see the way that I put these in, because this is always going to be an uneven number, there's no way you can use just one plate to do it. So I'm using a 1 by 6 and I'm using a 1 by 3, and you will end up with that. So if you look at it from the top, you will notice that there's a half stud offset on each side. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and make a couple of these. I've got a couple made already, and you will notice that when you pop these on top of each other, that you get that step effect. I'm gonna go one higher, put one more up, and then you'll see that at the top of this, I've got a brick. I don't have a plate because the 2 plates plus my 4x10 equals 1 brick height. And that brick height is what I need at the top of my roof. All right, so I'm going to take a bit of a shortcut here. I'm going to show you guys how to actually put these together. All right. So what I've taken is some simple hinge plates here, added a plate on top of them. I'm going to pop that in, and I'm going to add that to the bottom of the top of my roof. All right. Okay, so I have 2 of these. Let me just grab the other one here without breaking what I've done already. I'm going to pop the other one in, and you guys, we're going to look for about a 45-degree angle here. You'll notice that putting the plate on top of the hinge plate actually lines it up perfectly with the next plate and allows for this rounder piece not to be obstructed. So I'm going to take the other side I've made. Before I do that, I'm just going to show you, because of what we've created here with the offset plate. The offset plate now allows us to add 1x2 tiles to the plates here. And if I take another one, you'll notice that it doesn't really matter where I put these. I can get them all the way down, or I can put them all the way up. They will cover whatever I have used to build here. And then when I go to the next one, again, the same thing happens. I have this shingle effect that I've already finished on another plate.
Love it.
Which will leave you with that. Okay, so you notice that I put some discoloration in the tiles, and I used a couple of plates. The plates do work when you put them all the way down. Let me just grab a plate here quickly. So if you are placing your plate down all the way, you'll notice also, just as a hint, do it from the bottom up. Don't do it from the top down, because you're going to have to, you end up having to take the top one out and starting at the bottom anyway. So when you do this, you'll think, okay, but now the plate's going to obstruct, but the plate doesn't obstruct, because when you put the tile at the top, you can actually still move it. It has, come on, man. It has a little bit of leeway to still actually move in here. So the builder who did the original tutorial to this does a lovely thing where they tell you to make sure that the plate right on the edge is all the way, or the tile is all the way down, because what they're going to do is they're going to take a tile and they're going to pop it into that space. Either do it like that or pop it in like that. Now, of course, this looks much better when you actually have brown plates or whatever color you want, so that it actually makes sense. I find it better to do it like this and then just have a brown edge and placing this inside, or building out with plates, angular plates, etc. Do it however you want. One of the reasons I was drawn to this technique, except for how really awesome it looks, is when you go and you place these together, which again is a very simple 45-degree angle. Sorry, come on, Mr. Plate, get in there. Okay, so that is what you're basically left with. And now the question is always, what do you do with that gap at the top? Okay, so there is a beautiful way that they fill this gap. So what you're going to need is you're going to need to build a Travis brick column. Now, a Travis brick, for the guys who don't know the name, is the brick with the 4 studs on the sides. If you do make it longer, you have to be aware of the fact that you're going to use plates on top of your Travis brick to make sure your studs line up with your plates. But so what I've done here is, wait, that's not the right plate. What we've done here is we are creating a column, and this column we will then tile. I'm not going to tile the whole thing. I'm just going to quickly tile 1 or 2. Let's put 2 or 3 on here, and then let's put 2 or 3 on the other side. So what you're doing with your column is you are literally making the tip to your roof. And again, because this will go into your current build, you can move these up so that they close up nicely at the top. Some of them overlapping a bit to this side, some of them overlapping a bit to the other side, and you are left with that. And this very nicely slides into, let's just get this down a bit, into the top of your roof, leaving you with, when it's all tiled, a perfect line and no gaping hole. So that really is as simple as that. I unfortunately don't have a full roof to show you, but it's all sorted except for the way it looks from the side. So yes, shoot, anybody have a question? Anybody have a comment on this? It is.
Is everyone taking note for Lugbal?
Luigi, this is what we are always saying, you know, very often, and I, you know, let's just talk about ordering parts in bulk, you know, while we're talking on a video that will be posted. But if you're ordering in bulk, often the things that you need most are the things you're not aware of. And, you know, when it comes to things like 1x2 tiles and 1x2 plates and Travis bricks and, you know, very often things that we use in more than one way. I think it was the first time we ever ordered in bulk. We managed to actually get, can you guys remember, Hilton, Paul, how many 1x2 plates, Joe, did we get onto the first bulk list? I think it was like 6 or 7 1x2 plates in different colors and 1x1 plates, you know. It really was a part that was so usable. I think, did we have tiles in the last one? I think we had the was it the dark blue?
Yeah, the dark blue was.
Yeah. So if
But we didn't order any.
Yeah, I think I did. But anyway, so if you know what you're looking for, you know, this is why I think as a castle group, we've always been especially in the core group of the castle group that has been there for quite a while, we've always been quite specific, or actually we've always communicated as to what we would want to go for in the coming bulk order.
Yeah.
So there's nothing stopping us. I'm just gonna, sorry, let me just turn my camera around. Hey, fishbowl, what you doing? There you go. Okay, well, it's better than nothing. There you go. Okay, there's nothing stopping us from saying, you know what, this is a great technique. Let's put some votes behind this. What do you guys think would be a nice color for us to do our roofs in the future? If we're going to do a shingle roof technique, or if we're going to do any other type of bulk part, like Paul said, bananas. Do we really want bananas, Paul?
No.
I love how you're just going no and then muting right away. Okay, well, so what I actually would suggest is, in the next while that we start the conversation, because bulk ordering is not far off, but for now, explore some of the roofing techniques that you would want to use. Some of the stonework techniques that we saw in Paul's tutorial last week. I mean, something as simple. Richard, welcome. I didn't see you there. Yeah, minions will invade if we do bananas. Yes, you're right. So basically, if now you've thrown me, I don't know where I am now. You would have seen in some of the stonework techniques that Paul showed that there are little parts, very, very, very intricate, like parts that make that wall look awesome. Whether it be a 1x2 plate, or a 1x2 tile, or a 1x1 tile, or even a little a clip plate, or different type textured brick or something. So this is something we will actually pay some attention to. But okay, I see I have some roofs built already by Ferdi, and I have Luigi showing some dwarven animosity there. Let's go. Well, Ferdi, you had yours open first, so let's quickly go. Ferdi, you wanna show us some of your roofs that you've already started doing? Are those pink pigs? What are those? Are you doing pigs again?
The Bacon Expedition of 2021. So I think the one that I had already done before and that was lying around is this one, and I really enjoy it. It is a very cool textured roof, super simple.
What is that pot?
Don't know how to name it.
It's the rock face of something.
Ah,
It was used as a foot as
Where
well.
is it now?
Some pots.
Yeah, and I actually saw another use for it. If I can find it now.
There's a few pits and all sorts of weird and interesting things. It's a really cool part. Then what I also had knocking around, I was playing into one stage with our beloved cones. I think that's something that can be explored a bit more, especially the how do we attach it. That's I suppose kind of interesting and a must do at some point.
mhm.
Then the carrot one I did quickly while you guys were now talking. Probably not dense enough, but it's a start. It's also doing the offset with snots to kind of get the carrots aligned. So yeah, I think that's got potential, especially if you use it on some sort of background.
Yeah, you just got to find a way to actually get them closer together, or do 2 layers if you have enough. Those are available in different colors as well, not only the orange. So
Exactly. Orange is fashionable these days. And then you said, well, sometimes we just use what we have in bulk. So I've got a shitload of pink frogs.
why? Why do you have
Bonsai
pink
tree.
frogs?
Bonsai tree.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So you parted out the bonsai tree.
And I think it's got potential. No, Penny
like
built
it.
it and she didn't.
Mm.
Yeah. But you put something in between somewhere. I mean, it needs a bit more texture, color, or whatnot. But I mean, that at scale,
Lines.
I think could work.
Like
And
lines.
I just played with your slopey idea.
Yeah.
And just stick them down and try them at different heights, etc. So yeah, so that was just while you were now talking and showing. I've just kind of figured if there's something in it, and I think something else I'm just exploring is these little, I think they're technique bits. Don't actually know what they are.
Those are the staircase
Axles.
bits. Yeah.
Are they
Those are used for
staircase?
stairs.
Okay, because
Yeah.
well, I think they've
Where
got
are
potential
these
for
stairs?
roof. Because that doesn't look too bad. Put that on a black background or whatever, so you've got more texture. You probably get that to be a decent different roof.
Here we go.
So yeah.
Yeah. So what you have there is this, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so that would fit into that part there at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be closed up by that at the top.
Okay.
And then you will have these circular staircase pieces, and then they will fit in and do a little staircase. So yeah, it's a little staircase piece.
I think it's definitely got some potential to use as a big roof or several roofs, because I think they really do.
Yeah, I think if you ordered those in bulk, you would definitely have to justify it. But that's if they are on the list. Yeah.
No, I think I've got enough for now.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's good news. That's good news. Okay, wonderful.
I mean,
small
because
building.
these also, yeah, exactly. But these are also dark green, so they work very well for fences and for tree trunks and for that sort of thing. So yeah, that's my build.
Yeah, cool. I just want to quickly add one of the parts you had. We actually had these last year, I think it was, right?
Okay.
And I never noticed. I don't know if I'm the only person here that didn't notice, but these were used in the big T-Rex set to actually make tire tracks.
Yeah.
So you had them on both sides, and it was there. So I only noticed that like this week, looking at the T-Rex set, because I don't own the big T-Rex set. And I was thinking back to what Christian was saying the other time about the roads and what the the wheels would have been doing. Anyway, okay, Luigi, you wanna show us your build?
Yeah, I'm still busy with the third part of my build. I'll be honest with you, I haven't been making as much progress as I wanted, mainly because of things like Iron Builder and monthly competitions. But nonetheless, I mean, I've shown you the guys before. I've got my mobile forge with the dwarves fixing the broken wheel. I've now added some foliage since the last time and a tree, and my one piece that I finally got from Fire Toy.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, so put her.
I love that lantern.
Yes, I love the lantern and the wings. Unfortunately, both the wings and the lantern are not Lego, so I'm also taking the path of the heretic. but yeah, I wanted something coming. I wanted to create some height out of boosts. Otherwise, when I finish this build, it's going to be very low. But I'm very keen to now add a 4th and 5th piece with a potential structure based on what I've seen tonight with the roofs and that. But yeah, progress is slow. I mean, the wagon is still isn't complete, but yeah, it's getting there. I have an idea of what I want to do, and hopefully this will be done by March next year when we do get a chance to potentially attend an event. Hopefully by then I'll have six pieces that will all fit together. Yeah, but it's coming along nicely. Yeah.
I love your iron boulder build that's in the background there. I'm just kidding. It's happened. It's happened to so many people. It's like when Wayne built his competition build and then took pictures of his light box, and the competition build was lying next to the light box, and he sent me. He said, "Ah, man, most guys have seen it already. Here's my competition build." So anyway, that was quite cool.